8 essential Clive Barker horror movie adaptations. Clive Barker is a legend in his own right, with the wealth of horror stories that we've laid out before us, sometimes as the author, sometimes as the director. He never ceased to startle his fans with the most unfathomable concepts. To explore the fear factor, he has dwelled upon the darkest of subjects, from sadomasochism to the most disturbing monstrosities in the world. Nothing seems to deter him. Despite being the brilliant talent that he was, Clive Barker has been criminally underrated in the cinema space. He never got as much recognition as the likes of Stephen King, although his creativity stands no less. The main problem seemed to be that, despite some brilliant adaptations of his work, there have been some terrible ones as well. Some filmmakers couldn't do justice to his stories. When he donned the director's hat for some movies, the tables turned, and the spooky narratives came to life. In this video, we celebrate some of his best movie adaptations, so sit back and enjoy while we take you for an eerie ride.
Before we go into our explanation, we have a very small request. If you like our content, please support us by subscribing to our channel. This is a small click for you, but for us, it means a lot. Thank you. Let's begin.
Lord of Illusions, 1995. A private detective starts investigating a routine case that introduces him to the members of a fanatic cult. Soon he realizes the dangerous fanatics are waiting for their dead leader to be resurrected. The leader was gunned down by one of his best trainees, and now the cult threatens the detective's life. He encounters an illusionist who mesmerizes the world, but there is more to his tricks than what meets the eye. With so many mysteries in the bag, will the detective get to the bottom of the case? Firstly, when you are watching this, make sure that you get your hands on the director's cut, because the theatrical release cuts some precious moments that will tell you more about the dark side of the detective. Clive Barker's direction takes this film to new heights as he elaborates on the dark side of magic, where men have the power of demons. Daniel Van Bargen, Scott Bakula, and Kevin J. O'Connor all play their roles to perfection. Besides the spooky storyline, the movie is high on morbidity that will be pleasing for those who like a gore fest. The twists in the plot are unexpected and sometimes shocking. Watch this movie to appreciate the true genius of Clive Barker. Nightbreed, 1990. A man named Aaron Boone is haunted by some horrific nightmares, where he has visions of a city of monsters. He goes to seek help from a psychiatrist, but little does he know that his doctor is actually a serial killer. The doctor manages to frame Boone for his crimes and gets him killed by the police. However, it turns out that his nightmares had an element of reality in them, as the monsters from his dreams bring him back to life and help him to stop the serial killer from killing again. The only problem with this movie was that it was way ahead of its time. Despite the high budget and expertise of Clive Barker with the story and direction, the movie faltered at the box office. The audience might not have grasped the unique narrative, but later on, it went on to be regarded as a cult classic. The story is about how humans are the real monsters, and the perceived monsters are the good guys. This was an idea that did not match up with the audience back in the day. Promotion of this movie was like any random cheap slasher movie, whereas the film is so much more. Besides the top-notch costumes and special effects, actors like David Cronenberg and Craig Sheffer have done a fabulous job. The movie is a great example of why Clive Barker is hailed as one of the best horror writers of the era. The director, Ryohei Kitamura, is remarkable when it comes to the work with visual style and tremendous gore. The director, Bernard Rose, proves his mettle with some impeccable direction and alone. Hellraiser, 1987. The relentless search of unknown pleasures doesn't always lead you to somewhere good. This movie tells the story of Frank, who is constantly seeking the cheap thrills and buys a mysterious music box to satiate his thirst. The box is inflicted by some horrific demons who require blood consistently. Trouble breaks out when his brother moves into the house, along with his girlfriend. Seldom you will find a better synthesis of love, eroticism, and fear. It is the first directorial venture of Clive Barker and ranks as one of the best horror flicks from the 80s. It went on to become a successful movie franchise with a total of 10 films. But Barker was no longer in charge of things because he sold the rights to the production company. Through this movie, Barker creates an astounding world that promises to be an eerie experience. Some character transformations are blood-curdling, and the one that shows the timid, loving wife changing into a vicious murderer is truly captivating. The special effects in this film deserve a special mention, and so does the acting performances by Andrew Robinson and Doug Bradley. With some extremely graphic, gory, and bloody scenes, this is certainly not for the faint-hearted. Dread, 2009. It all starts when 3 college students start research on the things that people fear the most. The twist to the tale is that one of these 3 students is secretly a sadistic psychopath, and he uses the data collected to torture the subjects. He had been witness to the gruesome murder of his parents when he was young, and now he wants other people to face the trauma he had to endure. Will his secret be blown and his sinister plan stopped? The concept of playing with the psychological limits of human beings is very unnerving. Dread ranks among the likes of Saw and Hostel, but edges past them in terms of the intellectual prowess of the movie. The buildup of the story is terrific, and the point where the taped confessions are no longer enough for the maniac is going to give you the chills. The makeup team worked wonders with the gigantic birthmark that they created on one of the students that covered one side of her body. The flickering lights and dark sets add to the creepy ambiance, and instead of jump scares, the movie relies on the theme to strike fear in your heart. The final scene is ruthless and provides the perfect climax. Don't go for this movie expecting some kind of mindless teen stalker horror flick. Rawhead Rex, 1986. A writer on vacation with his family goes around researching the local myths and legends. By the stroke of bad luck, a farmer accidentally awakens an evil god, Rawhead Rex. Once awakened, it unleashes its brutality on the people and kills everyone in sight. Now the survivors must devise a plan to put an end to this monster. When the brain behind the story doesn't like the end result, you know that something is wrong. Clive Barker himself expressed a dislike for this movie because the makers made some unnecessary changes to reduce the disturbing elements in this film. The monster as projected in the original story was not what was shown in the movie. But there are a lot of positives in this movie as well. The beautiful, eerie landscapes of Ireland, for instance, will steal your heart. Rex delivers violent deaths to its victims, and there is no shortage of blood and gore. The poor budget reflects in the appearance of Rex, and some scenes make the mask on its face rather obvious. If monster horror impresses you, this movie might prove to be an enriching experience. But keep your expectations low before watching this movie. Quicksilver Highway, 1997. This movie is basically two one-hour films clubbed together, much to the delight of the horror movie fans. The first film is based upon a story by Stephen King and deals with a showman named Aaron Quicksilver who goes on telling stories to people. In the first part, he gives a lift to a newly wedded hitchhiking couple and tells them a scary story of a man who gives a lift to a psychotic hitchhiker, and somehow he saves himself by a toy of chattering teeth. The second film is based on one of Clive Barker's classics, The Body Politic, and Christopher Lloyd once again tells a creepy story to a pickpocket, in which a man struggles when his own pair of hands starts to rebel against him, and they seem to take on a life. It is a mouth-watering proposition to watch the works of two legends, Stephen King and Clive Barker, back to back. None of the stories disappoint, and with the cast consisting of reputed actors like Christopher Lloyd, the performances are terrific. Most of us know him as the professor from the popular movie series Back to the Future, and even in this movie, he delivers an insanely good performance of an absurd storyteller. Although it's a TV movie, the quality of the overall production is impressive, and the scene in the second part where the hand attacks the owner is shot in such a way that it will send chills down your spine. When Christopher Lloyd says, "Does every story have to have a moral or a point?" you will feel his sentiment.
If you enjoyed watching our video, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. Do let us know in the comments what topics you want us to cover next. Have an amazing day ahead, and stay safe.